Every once in a while, I come across some tech that I find is so useful for digitizing events. I usually share it with my friends and our clients, but I thought it would be really useful to spread the net wider and share some cool tech as we discover it so that you guys can choose to activate it or not within your business. So today I'm going to show you Descript. Came across Descript a while ago. We've been playing around with it, and the unscripted podcasts are basically edited by it. And came across it because I was trying to solve a problem with all the generative AI going on. When you do a big podcast or video or what have you, still can't get indexed yet by Google. So how do we reasonably quickly get to the text? How do we more easily create subtitles for accessibility and so on? And we were rummaging around trying to find a solution, started building something using ChatGPT, half got it working, and then discovered Descript. So I'm going to show you how it works. I think you'll find it useful. There may be loads of edits in this particular video because it's the first time I'm doing one of these. So bear with me, but we'll start with the video project. What I'm going to do is I'm going to upload a file of a panel that I did at Event Tech Live, and the guys at Event Tech Live have kindly given me the raw file. The reason why I'm doing this, it shows you the power of Descript and what it can do. We say, okay, there are three speakers. So it detects the speakers because there were three of us on the panel. It's Tim, Vanessa, and I. And then it takes a bit of time, but it's worth it. And you select the language, you hit done. Now I could carry on talking, but it is a bit like watching paint dry. But what it's doing in the background, it goes through the entire script, analyzes the entire script, and it will then, in this screen, and I'll pause the video so you don't have to sit here watching it with me, have all the text grouped by speakers. So see you in a sec. Didn't have to wait that long. Now, immediately, you can see it's transcribed the whole thing. And literally, when I said, I'll see you in a second, it came in. So it's quick. We now identify the speakers. You listen to them.
When you're implementing technology.
So this is Vanessa.
I think for me, first of all, it depends on the type of company that you are.
That is Tim.
Corporate. That's a really tough one to answer.
I agree.
And that was me. And I've already created a voice. So, and you can see now it's given everybody, tagged everybody well. And I'm not going to go into details here, but there are some really cool things you can do. So you can remove these ums and ahs. And what normally happens when you edit is you have to go through the whole video and say, oh, here it is. Look at the sound line. And actually, I'll show you the timeline down the bottom here. So look at something like this and you go, ooh, that is a duh. And you go in and it takes forever. Not with Descript. The way you edit in Descript, you literally edit like it's a Word document. It's so cool. So I want to get rid of this I just delete it and it goes away. And it's removed it from the timeline, which you can see. Well, you can't see down the bottom, but when you play around with it and do the usual free trial stuff, you'll be able to see it. Fully rendered it now. And here are the actions. Remove filler words. So all of these ums and ahs, like find and replace in Word. And then if you go to the Pro version, they found 264 more words when we were repeating ourselves. And you can get rid of those. I haven't got the Pro version. Maybe I should. And then those are deleted. So now in the space of how long has this been? Probably not even 5 minutes. We've got a much cleaner video file for post-event delivery. Now I'm going to show you some other cool stuff that you can do. Go into Ask AI and you can say, and write a blog. And what it's done, it loops through the entire script and summarizes each chapter, which when you cut and paste, let's say, a transcript straight into GPT, it loses it because GPT can only do it in chunks. So Descript have done the job for you. And what you end up getting, and we'll link to it in the article, or if you're watching this video on YouTube in the link below, you end up getting something that is quite good as a starting point and much better than you would get if you're trying to go through a whole 60-minute conversation, let's say a webinar that's happened, and trying to summarize it. It does a pretty good job. So this is a copy and paste of the article it came up with. And it is pretty good in terms of breaking the back of a narrative and having gone through the entire conversation step by step, because the order is absolutely correct because I was there. And we did end up talking about CDPs. We did go talking about event engagement apps. So it follows the narrative perfect. Then you've got other cool AI time savers that the guys at Descript have put in. And some of these are here. Social posts. And out the box, you've got a series of social posts for this article with hashtags. And again, it breaks the back of a lot of work that would normally take you combing through the entire article. So we're here, not even 7 minutes. We've got 4 social posts, we've got a blog. And this is another huge time saver. Find good clips. And again, it does a pretty good job of that. As when you're trying to get social engagement back to your long form video, you should use small videos to hook people back. Combing through 60 minutes takes an age. And again, I think that is why we tend to not activate our post-event video assets as much as we potentially can, because it's so time intensive up until now. But you'll see while the AI is thinking, and again, I'm going to pause it because you don't need it to think the whole time. Descript does an amazing job of also giving you video clips to share on your socials. So you've got your entire transcript. You've got the ability to publish it to YouTube, which I'm not going to show you. It's as intuitive as everything we've got. You've got the ability to add subheadings to it. You've got social posts. You've got a blog post. And now you'll have video clips to go with it. I call it aspirational tech, where tech has been sold and bought based on that sounds really good. I think that'll solve a problem. And you end up with a load of stuff that's all cluttered around and none of it really talks to each other. Not a bad quote. Happened to be mine, but there you go. You can select it in the script. And because it's selected, you can duplicate it to a new composition. So while those compositions are rendering, I want to show you the last really cool application for this. Is when you go into a project, you have a option to publish it. You can publish it as a web link. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll show you why that is cool. And it takes a while to publish it as a web link. So I am going to show you the one I did with Greg Hackett as a web link, and you'll see why I think this is amazingly cool. We use Descript to run through the podcasts. We use it to create the basic blog post, but we then hand it over to a freelancer to finish it. And we give the freelancer this Descript link because it gives them a power that just giving them the raw video file doesn't do. Because I can say, this point and this point were really important, and you should make a big deal of it in the final published article. So by default, by publishing it on Descript, they can go in and say, search for something. So probably a bad thing. Kentucky. because we did talk about there you go, and it talks it through. So you can very quickly find references and listen to it if you're the editor. The other thing is it gives your editors, if they're pulling quotes, don't have to keep listening to it. You just copy and paste it and go, that was the quote. So it's hugely shortened our production cycle from recording a video asset, getting it transcribed, editing the thing, removing these and the other. So that takes seconds. You have to spend some time doing some final edits back and forth, and then over time you can get better at it because Descript has a load of templates. But it breaks the back of your blog posts, so you've got a good summary to give to someone. You can also, I believe, that I think there is a potential, and I'm trying to find out how this can work, is that these links could be embedded as on-demand links, and this is such a better user experience, I think, for B2B content, where you want to find something really quickly, understand what it is, remember the quote, and so on, that you can just copy and paste and pull it down. It's saving a chunk of time. I worked it out that what we were doing would normally take a week. We've pushed it all down to a matter of half an hour to have a really solid brief for a writer to eyeball and turn around, and that takes 3 days. So within that time, we end up with fairly robust social assets. We end up with video clips for social. We end up with an archive like this that we can reference. I think it's just absolutely amazing what Descript does, and the AI is just built into the workflow, and the guys keep releasing new cool stuff that I really think, especially for webinars, this could be an amazing post-production capture exercise. So finish the webinar, load it up, you get the script. You can now make the script accessible to people by having subtitles. You can now look through the entire script, get a blog post, get that done pretty quickly, get the whole webinar analyzed, and get little short snippets that you can put out on your socials to hook people in. I think it's got huge potential, and this will all be edited by Descript, so all my filler words of ums and ahs will be gone by the time you see it. Thank you.